Let's talk confidence. Let's talk that if I get enough time, I'll be able to figure out anything. Anything at all in the entire universe. It doesn't matter, because I make it up. All I do is stretch my arm out and get a feel of what the word says. Put it to a numerological alphanumeric dot, number, vibration. Is that right, Enzo? That's right, Bob. Hey, Dot, what are you doing? You're playing with Biscuit? That's okay, because Pikachu has just left the room. Abraham, they changed his name from Abra to Ham. It's almost like abracadabra, but everybody knows 3 pigs are on the moon. There's a pig connected up to every part of the 8-hour day. 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours. Don't forget, our head's in a triangle. 10, 10, 10. That's 30. Now we got who we are. 35 because we're in the center of no choice. Then we get 1 for the spirit is 36, and 2 for the 2-world spirit that cuts 2, 5 right through the center. So, 2, 5, 8. Thank you. We got to really mix this up and see how it turns out. There's Abraham. A, B, R, A. The first letter, the second letter, the 18th letter, the first letter. 120, 181. But wait a second. 121 is 11 times 11. And 81 is 9 times 9. In Abraham's name, we have 911, 911. Then they added on the Ham. A ham is almost like a whoa. Whoa, Ham! Oh, wait a second. Who's controlling the communication? The whoa is the woman. But is it the woman or the women? Because the womb is the womb. Where do you think they got the W-O from? It's the womb. MB. Why did they have to put MB at the end? Very certainly, just to tell you, MB. Don't you know about MB? Anything to do with your computer language? 121. Why did it have to come 121? Why wasn't it 122? Well, it is 122. This year is a perfect year. 3 sections of 122 equals 366. May 1st is the 122nd day this year, in which May 5th is the 126th day. 126, 622, 6. 6 and 22 is 28, and 6 is 34. Stands for 1. O-N-E, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Star Wars. Maybe we'll go into Star Treks. We'll pick up a little bit of difference. Maybe we'll teach a rock how to talk. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer? What red nose? Why did he have a red nose? When you got spirit, you're drinking wine. When you got wine, you got a red nose. And when you got a red nose, you certainly can fly. You know all the directions when you're stoned. It seems like you know everything better when you're stoned than when you're not stoned. When you're not stoned, you're not sure where to go. But when you're stoned, you go into another world where everything seems to come to you. So we have to continue with Abraham again. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 18 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. We bust in blackjack. And so did he, because he didn't have a child until he was obligated to push himself on God and say, God, I need a child. So his wife came up to him and told him it's okay. Almost like the Adam and Eve story. Watch out which forbidden fruit you're eating. That's not your wife. Another thing about the 0, don't forget, we don't know where the Jews came from. We don't know where any of the people came from. According to what I understand, this whole thing we live on right now was an empty Shark Tank. They threw pyramids and whatever they could on here. They put one on top of the other pyramid, flipped them over until they stuck out of the ground, and they called them mountains. Israel. What's real? Is backwards is Area 51. Let's go back to Abraham again. So we do Abraham over here. We end up with the total of 1, 2, 3, 21, 22, and then the Ham makes it 30. Bingo, creation, he's got a child. Then over here is 31, angel creation, 1 and 3. We have a total that ends up over here as 1 and 3. Ham, 8, and 1 is 9. In blackjack, it's 19. It also stands for the letter R. Why? Because when you say R, the sound of A and then the R is 18 and 1 is 19. A and H seem to go together for Abraham. Well, anyways, we all know that H is an archer for the circle of life, because H, take away the H, and it says ace. Add the only 2 letters in the alphabet that represent A before the consonant and, with both sounds. But one is in French, it's the other one is R. The other one is H. The other one is ash. In French, it goes soft A. In English, it goes H, hard A. But R in English goes R, soft A, R. But in French, it goes air, soft E. No A, just an ER. But if you put them all together, it says ear. It's an archer with an ear. The third eye? Where in the world was Christmas in Israel back then? I don't know. When Bethlehem came and they sang about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, how did that come to the manger of Jesus? Wait a second. What was in the manger of Jesus? They brought her to the manger to have a child, or did the child just show up? Was it John and not Jesus? Were the bodies intertwined? But Jesus gave him the goodwill of God. Don't forget, the spirals of life were more direct back then, 2,000 years ago. And they came up with 11:9. He had two wives, 299, two 11s and 299. 2 and 9 and 2 and 9 makes the split. It's almost like saying God was Abraham. But then again, was Abraham before Moses? Or where was Cain and Abel? Or was he Abel, or did he hold her Cain? Or was Abel holding Adam's Cain, and Adam was just standing up straight? But he couldn't think all day, because once you hold the lower Cain, the upper Cain goes down, and it becomes the lower cocaine of man. The cocaine of man touches dick, and it becomes like cocaine. Oh my God, I gotta have more. And he can't have enough until he blows. And then once he blows, it's the only drug in the world that you don't have repercussions, unless you're sleeping with the wrong guy. I mean woman. I didn't want to get into homosexuality, but did you know that we were created to whether we should be homosexuals or not? Do you also know that we had a choice before we came here? And if we didn't let that choice be, we let them make the choice. What do you want? Do you want to choose your sex when you get here? No. God, you choose the sex, we'll let the machine choose the rest. So it set me on a path of homosexuality, and you know what? It seems like they get along a whole lot better than anybody else. Do you know why? Because it all starts here. Ho is the mo of the sex. The actuality is the word. And nothing before I had said means anything at all, male, female. Forget that. The hips are the ships of the pelvis that turns, that cranks and screws until at the end of the line the pipe empties out. One pipe into the next larger pipe, in which the end pipe is now the transmission of all, the woman's hips, and everything she's got going north. As you go in one way, it goes up the other way. And it finds its way, but don't you worry. There's a spade inside of her, and the club of all is the family she will make once the second heart comes out. So we end up with, over here, 22, 30, 31, 44. Oh, that's Barack Obama. That's his space. 4 by 4 is 16, 4 by 16 is 64, which is 8 by 8 chess table, right? 32 on each side, in which both of them have 16 players on each side. Is it the castle in the corner? But don't worry about it, because the pawn will spawn and he will start the game, taking a chance, because you don't need the pawn. Because at the end of the game, once you win, you get all your pawns back. Does that mean God gets back all the spirits? What were we talking about? Were we talking about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? How smart he was? His nose was red. Was he drinking? Like I said, where was Israel in the snowflakes back then? Or was it snowing in Israel 2,000 years ago? Who wrote the books of Jesus? Who wrote the books of John? They died apparently 3 years apart. Who was met in the manger? When did the Gentile meet the Jew? Did the Gentile come from the Jew, or did the Jew come from the Gentile, or did we all come from the reptilians? We end up with 44. 4 and 4. That's pretty weird, eh? We'll put 4 on the left. We'll put 4 on the right. You put 4 on the right, you end up on number from go. You end up on number, take away from 40, you end up on 36. That's short lines, and that's where we are in this world. Right on the shortest avenue of all. We're going round and round and round. And if you think you're living, whatever age you are, you're at least 10 years younger. Even though we live the same time, have you ever really understood what the seconds meant, and why in the Olympics they went to the 100 in seconds, but in life we didn't count them? Have you ever checked what a real second is? How fast a real second should go? Oh, Canada. The O is the hole, is the watering hole. Number 29. 2 holes, please. Number 29. 3 holes, please. Number 49, 4 holes, please. Wait a second. We just played the first 4 holes. The next hole, the 5th hole, is going to take us home. Down the backstretch, over to the letter J. Are we on the front 9 or the back 9? Is it 1 and 1? Well, 1 times 1 is nothing. No? 1 and 1 is nothing? I doubled this one for this one. How? By turning it over. Comes on my other hand. It shows up. Oh no! I'm dirty hands again. Who's going to complain this? I always like to show, you see that white line there? It never seems to get dirty. It just disappears. Oh, it's there. No, it's not. Still Rubik's Cube. I have to pull a piece out this weekend. It's the 27th today that I was talking about. This was the last original day of the week. I did not talk about the moon. I still see that if this Earth turns around in 4 months, okay, or every single day, where in the world could the moon go for 20 days out of the month? Where the hell did the moon go? I don't see it. First of all, I told you. I tell you, I don't like to tell anybody. I like to ask, but I'm telling, because I'm here right now telling you my story. That's all. I'm not telling you anymore. I'm not telling you what to do. But if the Earth is like this, or like this point does not meet this point, neither did this point meet this point. Automatically, if the moon would be here, regardless, the next day the moon has to be back here again. Where have we gone? Have we gone off to a wobble for 21 days, another think tank, and then we come back to the side of the moon again? I want to know why we don't see the moon. And why is the moon misty? Especially when it's full. It seems to pull an energy towards it. I see the clouds. I see what they do. Today, with these glasses alone, I saw the revolving suns, the energizers, the one that project, the one that make the oscillation. I saw them with these glasses for the first time, but it's these glasses that bring them out, the yellow glasses. I turn my head this way, it moves. I turn my head this way, it moves. But when I moved my head up, and like this, in a straight angle, it never moved at all. I even tried to lean back a little bit and look at it. Didn't move at all. But when I was moving my body with it, it seemed to move. I don't trust this. I really don't. The thyroid gland, I don't trust it worth shit. I want to know why they put it there, why they have to send everything back up to there. Is it because my mouth is always dry now because of the lithium? Now anyways, I've been jumping around here, and what I did want to show you, again, with the Tim Hortons cup and this cup. How come I don't have a Couche-Tard cup? I got all kinds of cups. Is this metric, or is it not? Why did they implement metric? Why did they change a boat speed to a different speed than anybody else? Is that because the current is taking it backwards? You see, there's a lot of things I don't know, but what I do know is that once you get me started on anything, I'm going to take my numbers out and start looking. I'm going to find something. Irregardless, everything exists. But Rubik's Cube, we couldn't work without it, because this is our system. It's a Rubik's Cube system. What goes around comes around. What is up is down. Except in Rubik's Cube, if you keep turning it around, the bottom will be on the top. And if you put no numbers, just look at the colors, because the colors come to play. And I haven't done any colors in Rubik's Cube, and I haven't done pi yet. Because if you want to get into pi, I'll show you how pi says a present in French. I'll show you how pi says Canada. I'll read you down the letters of the Mississippi River and tell you why we have all those S's and P's and I's inside of it. There's a lot of things I do not know. In fact, there's more that I don't know than I do know. In fact, there's so much more that I don't know. The only thing that I'm happy that I do know is that I'm in the middle. And whatever's around me, if there's enough people and we work together, then we can all know. Because at the end, it's not going to be only me that knows, because I could never know alone. And I can never know alone even if I knew, because it has to be shared. Because the more that know, the more the angle becomes round. We know what's on the outside of the corners. Now we know what's on the inside. This is what they call love. Without those strings, this ball does not work with the cowhide. The cowhide? What do you mean cowhide? I think he was hiding on the moon because somebody said the cow jumped over the moon. Oh, wait a second. The mouse gets the cheese. So does that mean the mouse has got to go to the moon as he ran up the clock? What do you mean ran up the clock? You're running up minutes on the clock, or you're running up the score. That ain't fair. Come on back down the clock. So the eensy-weensy spider decided to grab onto the mouse and bring him all the way down the clock. Turn him into a caterpillar, turned into a butterfly, so he flew away. And time was flying, my friends. Oh, my God. You ever see time fly? Well, why don't you look at the penguin? He just sits there and sits there until that egg comes out. And then he hopes and he hopes and he hopes that no one's going to eat his poor little baby. How would you like to have a life like that? How nervous do you think a penguin really is? Wouldn't you like to have nerves of a penguin to be able to sit there and do nothing? Or unless he's got a great memory and his drawing board is in his mind and everything he wants, he goes, "Hey, mouse, pull back up the clock. We got some whale fat coming. I got to keep on thinking. My toes are all stuck to the egg and my head's a little furry. But it's okay. I got a white stomach with a black suit and I got a yellow fur. So I'm thinking with the energy of the Christ, but Christ doesn't exist. Because it's John, or is it Jack, or is it Joe, Jack and Jill. But all I know is that everything with J is plus 10. You come into this world, you're 81, plus 10. You want to have a spirit in this life, you're plus 11. You come into the 2 world as 9, and you're plus 211. But you come in here as 9, and you end up 11 in life. But you're only 6 man with the 5 angel spirit. Because the 5 holds on to the 360-degree corners. You get into the center. Who really is the 5 blocking your way? Because man didn't come in as 5. Man had to come in as 3, 03, 03, 03. He had to have all the corners. But by the time he got to the 3rd corner of 3, it was 3 in 1 corner, 2 in 1 corner, 1 in 1 corner. When he gets to the 4th corner, he ends up in jail. But there's many ways to look at this, because 1 and 5 are the furthest apart. A and E, 15, letter O, A, E, and O, creates the W, creates life, creates the electronic energy E. Fucking says owl, O-W-L. Oh, wait a second, is it A-O-L? No, A-W-L. A-wall? Wait a second. Or is it just a wall? Or is it the law of the wall for the owl? I didn't understand if it's an O or he's low. How low is the owl? But as low as you can go, you end up at 0. But right away, you're at 1, because you stand up again. The minute you sit down and get up, you're from down to up, you're 2 to 8. 6 hours. Man 6. 2, 4, 6. Stops at his nuts, of course. When he gets to his legs, it's 8. But the point of his nuts are not on bottom. He does not have a diamond in the rough. But in all actuality, he'd have 2 punch holes. What else is going on here? I'm going to have some coffee. I'm going to think about what I have to do next. It's just that there's so much, and I still retain, I'm always fighting for myself, I still retain that little information that helps me get the rest of the information from the rest of the spots. Blue, green, red. Now the question was, were these going to stay here? Even if no matter how much I did of this Rubik's Cube, these colors will never change. Because this one's either going to go this way, or this one's going to go this way. But these are automatic to stay. 6 colors, 6 sides. 1 orange, 1... Hey! These 3 are together. You see, I can't get 3 together. The minute I show 1 flat, the other 2 disappear. You see how much I can show of each one? There's a certain angle you have to put on it, and then they each get chopped off. We run in the cycle of a quarter moon. You ever see what a real quarter moon likes? Take a quarter moon and keep turning it a little bit around each other and keep going out. It'll look like this big oscillating fan pushing in towards you. Do I think Mars is real? Mars and SARS is yours and ours, from as far as we once went in our mind to as far as we must go in our minds. Why do I slow it down? Because I couldn't rhyme it anymore. No, in all actuality, we all know there's things that are crazy real, things that are not real. If we're not really here and we're elements of the magnetic field, that's one of the reasons these buzzing flies buzz, because they pick up that energy and they buzz. They may not even be human. Don't forget, what doesn't have red blood, okay, is one thing. What comes from the ocean is something else. But at the end, we're made up from just about all the animals. And I believe down in New Zealand, they have the answer. And I believe somewhere in China, they have the answer. Now, if you go back to all these films and stuff, to where you go back in time and forward in time, they're always showing the Germans, the Asians, oh, and 007 trying to figure out all the information. By the way, I saw the movie the other day with 007, and it seemed like the government And the 007 espionage team, whichever one you want to call it, didn't really know what's going on from each other. It's almost like there's two different worlds going on in the same world. People are not allowed to talk about certain things, and some people know things that aren't even true because, hey, I saw Mother Teresa in the sky. Well, I'll call her Mother Teresa today, but I used to call her Mary. She told me something. I looked there 3 times, and it was real like shit. And it happened to cut 2 more times, but it wasn't her, it was something else. And I always turned away. Now, was it real? Don't know. But whatever my mind did here, that was real. Whatever work I've done because of it, that's real. So that's all that counts. If you can handle seeing whatever you see, the more power to you. Because we are blind. Push both your eyes and pull on your eyes a little bit. You will see completely different. When I do my work, I don't look straight at it. I go on an angle. Because nothing is straight in this world. And it's been shown to us by the most successful people. No one goes straight, nothing is straight. Everything is a banana-rama, turn around, pull me back, and let me go. It's almost like a slingshot world, where you hold on to everything, and after that, you just jump out of your hand and you act. Out of your hen. Ha ha ha. Jump out of your hen and you act like a rooster. It's funny, eh, the way words come together. What was that first word you asked me to say? Oh boy. Raphael 7286, thank you.